Alright, hey guys, this is KoolKanto, and here I am bringing you my first Wi-Fi YouTube upload. And this battle is against one of my good friends, Jake. Jake actually doesn't really play Pokemon competitively, but I told him that I was doing this, and he said that he wanted to be my first battle. So I thought it'd be fun, and I did it. So he leads off with Garurumon, the Houndoom, and fearing the fighting move from Apogee, switches immediately into a Gengar, and the fighting move is resisted. He then, I'm guessing, predicts me to go into a normal type and goes for the Focus Blast. And I decided to keep Apogee, my Machamp, in, um, and I'm able to take the Focus Blast and get him back with a payback. And this payback should be able to take out the Gengar, and I believe it does. Jake and I are both using kind of a grab bag of Pokemon. Since he doesn't play that often, he was just picking whatever he thought looked cool or who he could remember, and I just picked out some grab bag guys that I never used before. He leads off with this Breloom, and the Breloom immediately spores me, like most Breelooms do, putting Apogee to sleep. I thought I might have been faster, and I might have been able to get a dynamic punch off to confuse it, but Machamp is slower. So he puts me to sleep, and he gets poisoned for his poison heal going on. I just kind of wanted to see how much damage his Drain Punch would do, and maybe get a first turn wake up and get a dynamic punch off. But that doesn't happen, so I decided to call Apogee back and send out Long and Strong, the Gyarados. And the Gyara puts the Intimidate on, which was one of the main reasons I sent it out, because I really don't have anything to counter this Breloom. Maybe if this Gyara had Bounce, but it doesn't. So, kind of in a pickle with it. But Gyarados, after the Intimidate, is able to take the Drain Punch no problem. But I pull him back and go into my Jolteon. He pulls back Breloom, I'm not quite sure why, and send out this Beedrill. Me not wanting to overpredict, I just go for the straight Thunderbolt, where he brings out his Breloom. And the Thunderbolt actually does not do that much to it, especially after Poison Heal. It's probably maybe a seventh of the damage. So I send back out Long and Strong again, just to get the Intimidate. And right here, like I said before, Jake doesn't really competitive battle, so he didn't know about Sleep Claws and things like that. I probably should have mentioned it to him earlier. So right now I mentioned to him, when you put one Pokemon to sleep, you're not allowed to put a second one to sleep. And he said, "Oh, that doesn't matter. We're just having this battle for fun." And I was like, "Okay, if you want to." So he predicts me to bring out a Pokemon that isn't sleeping, and I actually predicted him to spore again. So I brought out Machamp, and I was just hoping for a wake up to get into Dynamic Punch, because if he's going to be putting all of my Pokemon to sleep, I'm going to be in big trouble. Thank the Hex Gods that Apogee wakes up now, and I am able to get the Dynamic Punch off and confuse the Breloom. And this is going perfect for me. But right now, I make a huge mistake, and I pull Apogee back, and I send in my Jolteon again. And I'm not sure why I keep sending in Jolteon against this Breloom, because I know he has Drain Punch, which will do a large chunk of damage to this Jolteon. But the Breloom hurts itself in confusion, luckily, and he sends out Ivan Ooze the Muck. And I go for a Shadow Ball here, and it does almost nothing, especially after the Muck heals with Black Sludge. It's does no damage. Here is my second mistake. I send in B.O.B. here, and once I send him in, I'm like, crud. He is going to get poisoned right off this first gunk shot. I know it. So I see the health going down. I'm like, okay, maybe I won't get poisoned. Maybe I won't. And I get poisoned. And Vaporeon is a guy that I know I do not want to have poisoned. Even though he has a lot of life and can live for a long time, it's not something that you want poisoned or something that you want to worry about. So right away I go for the wish, knowing that poison taking me down and trying to attack, just to bring me back up to full health after a few turns here. So he hits me with a payback, probably not wanting to risk missing on a gunk shot, which doesn't do too much damage, but after poison, like I said, is a big enough chunk to where I should be worried about it. So here I protect, just so I can get that health back and not have to worry about maybe fainting. So BOB's wish comes true, and it's going to bring me over 300 health, even after poison and after lefties. I think I'll be at like 306 or somewhere around there. So I feel like that's enough health to where I can just do a surf, see how much it does. Even though I know mucks are normally specially defensive, I figured I would just see how much it would do. And it does nothing. So here I'm guessing Jake was predicting me to pull back Vaporeon knowing that I can't do anything to it, and goes for an Ice Punch. And that does nothing to Vaporeon. So here I decide Surf did nothing, but I still want my Vaporeon to have a lot of life when he comes back in. So BOB goes for a wish on an airplane that he sees out there, and is gonna survive this payback, and then I believe I protect and get all my health back. Right now we're eating some lefties. Muck is gonna grow bigger with some black sludge. There he goes. And by the time I protect and get my wish back, or I protect and my wish will come true, Muck is going to be so close to full health that putting Vaporeon just shows how big of a mistake that was, and how my next Pokemon that I'm going to go into, who I'll show you, should have been who I went into. Right now, after poison, I believe BOB goes down to 303 life, or HP, and Muck is just about full. So I know that part was kind of stally, but it happens sometimes. So I pull back Vaporeon and I send out Apogee as death fodder, and he goes for the gunk shot, and luckily for him it hits. I don't think he missed a gunk shot this entire match. I think every gunk shot he shot hit me right in the face. So now Black Sludge, he's fully healed, and now I send out who I should have sent out before, my Hungry Hippo, knowing that none of Muck's attacks can really hurt me at all. I know he has the Ice Punch, but I know I can survive probably 4 of those after lefties, maybe even 5. So I take this time to set up my Stealth Rocks, because I know with Stealth Rocks and with Sandstorm damage, he's going to be taking quite a bit of extra turn damage. With the Sandstorm and then Black Sludge, Ivanu is still at full health. Here's where he uses the Ice Punch for the super effective damage, and like I said, that's probably, you know what, that might even be a 6-hit KO after lefties, because this Hungry Hippo is a beast. So I use my Earthquake, and the Muck's health is going down pretty steadily, and I was just so furious at myself for getting that Vaporeon toxicked. So Sandstorm's going, it's definitely going to be a 2-hit KO. But here, I decide to make, I think, a pretty good play where, or I'll tell you after all the lefties and Black Sludge. Sometimes this stuff gets to be so long. So I take the payback, and right here I believe I'm going to roar out the muck, knowing that when he comes back in later, he's going to take stealth rock damage, and if he gets switched in on an attack, he's going to be dead, or just about everything I have except for the hippo is faster. So I'm not too worried about the muck anymore. And I bring in this Beedrill, and he takes some pretty good stealth rock damage and sandstorm damage. But I don't really want to see this right now. So I go for a roar. And luckily he switches into this Lucario, the Lucanio. But I roar him again, switch him out to Garurumon, his Houndoom, which is good for me because anytime fire-type Pokemon are able to take Stealth Rock damage is good. So he takes Stealth Rock damage, Sandstorm damage, and that takes about a fourth of his health away. I'm chilling, getting some leftovers. Here he hits me with a Fire Blast, and I wasn't too sure how much damage it was going to do. I knew it was going to do a pretty hefty chunk, because normally Houndooms have max special attack stats, which as you can see this one probably does. So I went for the Slack Off just to see what he would do. If he would switch, then I'm back at full health. If he uses a Fire Blast and misses, I'm at full health. He used the Fire Blast, it hit. I still have a pretty decent amount of HP going, and him taking Sandstorm, that brings him to a little bit over half. So he uses another Fire Blast, and this one misses, thankfully for me, and I get an Earthquake off, and I'm pretty sure that this kills the Houndoom. So I'm sitting pretty good again. I'm still worried about that Breloom coming in because, like I said before, I don't really have anything to counter it. Sandstorm's raging, Hungry Hippo's loving it, eating some lefties, waiting for an opponent to come out. So he sends out the Breloom, and I know he's going to put me to sleep. I know he's going to put me to sleep, so I send out Long and Strong the Gara to intimidate it right away, and so I know it won't put anything to sleep. And just kind of burn in some sleep turns, hopefully. Both of us getting hurt by the Sandstorm. But I know that I can't leave him out there too long because this Breloom is going to Poison Heal, Drain Punch, and bring himself up to full HP real fast. So I pull out the Gyarados and put in Jolteon, knowing that I'm going to be faster and be able to get at least one attack in. He uses the Leech Seed, and I'm able to evade the attack, which is perfect for me. I'm both getting hurt by Sandstorm, Poison Heal, healing him, and I go for the Shadow Ball, which isn't going to do as much as I wanted it to do. I thought I was going to do a little bit more, and he puts me to sleep. So Jolteon's asleep, and I'm not sure who to switch in right now. So I'm still thinking about who we want to switch in. We're both getting hurt by Sandstorm, and Poison Heal gives him so much health back. I'm very upset with this Breloom right now. Now he Leech Seeds me. So now he's going to be getting Leech Seed, Poison, Heal, and if he uses a Drain Punch health back. And I know using Drain Punch on Jolteon is going to give him a lot of health back. So I think right here I switch out, because I can't give him that much health. So I pull Jolteon back, and I send back out the Hungry Hippo, because I know I don't want to see this Breloom right now. It's something that I can deal with later. So I know I can take the Seed Bomb pretty handily, which I do. This Hippo is able to take super effective damage from almost anything and be fine. So I'm eating some lefties here. He's getting this Toxic Heal. Sandstorm's coming again. He puts me to sleep. So now I'm not sure what to do, but you'll have to wait and tune into the second video to see how it happens.